Hey again, what's going on? Juan here, and every now and then we gotta talk about things that we try to avoid because we really don't want to jump to conclusions. We call them the tinfoil hat in the podcast. Storylines that maybe are going to end abruptly, or characters that are going to get a change when you're very much enjoying them, or when something's not working, or, as is the case with this, something does start, but you quickly see the tide changing. Let's talk about Tyler Breeze. Prince Pretty. And a great, talented former NXT superstar, somebody that has been in the developmental system for years, before the character known as Tyler Breeze. While the character is Tyler Breeze, this guy was Mr. NXT. Before your Sami Zayn, before your Finn Balor, this guy, I'm not going to say carried the company, he was one of the most recognizable figures in NXT. He finally gets the call to the main roster, and we're all thinking, yes, finally. He never became NXT champion, but he didn't need to. He was a great superstar, great in the ring, and we wanted to see more character development, and there was not a lot left to do in NXT. Miz TV, he comes out, JBL starts saying, this guy's awesome, talks about all of the great accomplishments he had in NXT, starts feuding with Dolph Ziggler. He's in the middle of this questionable storyline that features Rusev and the Love Triangle, which we talked a lot about. And that was questionable because it was a storyline that a lot of people were making fun of. You're aligning yourself with Summer Rae, who has not had the best experience with partners. You talk about Fandango, and now this situation with Dolph Ziggler. Who was she with? The Lana thing. You're going into a negative situation and you're just coming into the main roster, and then the week after you just start sitting ringside. I don't think that was the way to go, and the best example is MVP, Montel Vontavious Porter. MVP from day one, people saw some problems with the character, looking like a Power Ranger, being overly arrogant, and not being all that great in the ring. As time progressed, he got really good in the ring, but the character just sort of faded away. He had the MVP lounge, he had a great rivalry with Matt Hardy, but if you look at the end of his WWE career, where was he? Not on Raw, not on SmackDown. The man was mostly on Superstars. People didn't even know he got a new theme song until after he got released, or after he went to Japan and done a lot of other things in TNA, etc. But the fact of the matter is that the character sort of had the same path since day one. They tweaked a couple of things, he got better in the ring, but the character as a whole, it's like, what do you do with him? Another good example here would be Dolph Ziggler, starting off saying, "Hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler. Hi, I am Dolph Ziggler." Weeks upon weeks, we heard about this man called Dolph Ziggler and his ridiculous name. A lot of people were also very skeptical about this. Debuts, has a great match with Batista, but you know that the character does not have lasting legs because of this. So they start modifying. Eventually, he aligns himself with Vicky Guerrero. He drops the whole hello thing, even though King continued to say it for a very long time, which was quite annoying. Concussions and things aside, the character went through a change. We're not going to say that Dolph Ziggler is a main eventer now, but he is a highly recognizable superstar. He can go somewhere and people know, like, that guy is he's a mainstay in the WWE roster. But on the contrary to MVP, Dolph Ziggler went through changes. Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, at the beginning, he was just, you look at his character, it was way over the top. Too many things, at least for my taste. But as time progressed, he was also that outstanding wrestler. Look at the matches with The Undertaker, Bret Hart. There was change. And the problem with Tyler Breeze is that we've been exposed to him in NXT. So it's not like we just saw this guy just coming into the main roster and we're going to give him time. Those that have seen him on NXT are just getting the same character toned down. And those that are seeing him for the first time are just saying, so what's his thing? He takes selfies and what? What? Because there's nothing else happening in there. NXT was a similar thing, but they had little touches. Whenever he would show up at the arena, they would say, Tyler Breeze has entered the building. And it could be just after a match, and if he left, they would say, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to inform you that Tyler Breeze has left the building. They treated him as somebody special, whereas on Raw and SmackDown, they're treating him like another wrestler that simply just has a silly character. They can keep the selfie thing, they can keep a lot of things in the character, but unless they try to modify him or something, what are they gonna do? And it's unfortunate because I do think that the character right now is set to fail. They started him off there with Miss TV. Upon weeks after, not doing all that much, then he breaks up with Summer Rae, but apparently they're still showing up together at some live events. So what is he exactly? What is his purpose? I think a lot of wrestlers, the reason that people care about them is the purpose. When he was in NXT, his purpose was that he wanted to become champion at one point because he wanted all the spotlight on him. Nothing too new, nothing groundbreaking, but it worked. He had a purpose. He had a motive. The whole thing with the selfie and the NXT takeovers, using Periscope, using all of these things, he wanted the world to see him. But in a 3-hour show, you're telling me that there's no way you can really accentuate that? That seems ridiculous to me. So actually, I want to bring it over to you guys. Do you think the character is set to fail like I'm saying right now? I'm not saying that the man behind the character is set to fail, but unless they do a drastic change soon, I don't want it to have it be a social outcast situation. The social outcast failed for years. Those guys collectively had runs that have and had not been successful. Another character is that, yeah, I sort of failed and now we're all together. I don't want Tyler Breeze to reach that level. I would like him to develop maybe a little anger at the fact that people aren't looking at him, just beating down a couple of random people. He did that in NXT without changing his character, and it worked. But unless you're willing to invest time in Tyler Breeze, I don't even get the point of why they moved him up to the main roster. I really don't. One painful thing, and if you haven't, should check out the last episode of Breaking Ground. The last one is focused on Tyler Breeze, him getting the call. It's like a mild spoiler, but let's be honest here. This aired after he had already debuted on TV, but you end the show like that. And us as fans, because at the end of the day, we can read up all the reports from the Observer, any website. All I see is that you invested so much time on this character in this place. And if you're going to move him up the same way you did the Ascension, then either you're going to do something right with them, or just leave him down there, or change the character. But then don't have this whole thing happen where we gave the guy a shot and now he's just there, because you have so many guys. It is such a talented roster, and in a place right now where John Cena's out, all these guys that we've covered previously are out. Give Tyler Breeze a shot, guys. So once again, drop your suggestions or whether you think he's set to fail or not in the comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe, and check out the podcast available every single Tuesday night right here on iTunes, Stitcher, Tune Radio, social media by that cast. That is where you can also submit questions for the podcast with the hashtag AskBT. So until next time, thank you for watching, and I really hope that Prince Pretty, they do something with him. Otherwise, it's going to suck. Because the last tidbit I'll say here is that in many podcasts, he revealed with Sam Roberts, for example, that he has so many ideas of what to do with the selfie stick, with technology, and it's going to be a shame if those things are never put to use. So thank you for watching, and we will be back with tons more right here on Byte That.